Hey, because there were some issues with the Facebook Live in terms of the audio quality and other various issues this afternoon, I'm going to try and recap what we talked about today very briefly and give you the highlights. It's going to be short, but at least hopefully you can hear it better and it'll give you an idea of what we talked about today, okay? All right, first stop was these ambrosias that I believe are going into their third or fourth leaf perhaps. I was looking at these trees and said, well, we have some issues here. I got some good advice. Got some good advice this afternoon too with a couple growers, but here's the bottom line. This is Geneva 41 rootstock. These trees are pretty vigorous, but you can't let these big branches stay in ambrosia. You just can't deal with them. So if you can see this, we talked about you don't need to make a long stub cut, but all this big branching has to come out. Any of this vigorous upright stuff, see if you can see that. Where am I here? No, I'm up in the tree. This has all got to be coming out. Now the top of this tree isn't bad. Might just do a couple of snips here and there, but I can't really focus on the top by myself. But here's the deal. This big wood has got to come out of these ambrosias. Any of this bigger upright stuff. Now we're going to sacrifice some cropping. You probably can't see that. Even stuff like this here, I think needs to come out for this year. Now that's better. There's a little clipping here and there, maybe, but you get the idea. The big wood has to come out of these ambrosias this year. And you can go right down the line and see a lot of big wood. There's a lower branch here they bent or tied down, which I'd probably leave to get some fruit off, but otherwise, that's looking maybe even, I don't know, a cut here or two there. Just get this big wood out this year and keep the big wood out going down the road. So that's number one, ambrosia. One more example of big branches that have to come out. Right here. Right there. Right there. Some lower branches down here. And probably would single that leader out a little bit and let it ride. But this big stuff has just got to come out of these ambrosia. You get the idea. All right, next we took a look at these cripps pink on bud 9. I think third leaf, second or third leaf. The problem with these bud 9s is we had some branching on them that was too big and they were kind of weak, so we wanted them to grow another year before we cropped them. And you can see here maybe where we cut off some big branches. You see that? There and there and there. Okay, we can't let those big branches stay in the trees. We did a little click pruning, cutting into some 1-year-old wood to get rid of some cropping there. Sunlight's not doing me any favors here, but did some click pruning into 1-year-old wood to get rid of that flower bud and let these grow another year. That was the bottom line on these cripps pink on bud 9. We cut them up pretty hard, but want to get them growing again for another year. The graft union is fairly high. Maybe I can look at a tree or two down here that we hadn't pruned. Let me see here. I don't want to make you seasick. Yeah, I mean, that's not a good example. But you know, this tree right here, we just got to get this one all back to, the pruners died out on me if I don't use them. Cut this big stuff out of here. It's going vertical, the low stuff. Get these back to a situation that we can live with. Cut a couple of those, do some stub pruning there. You see the big branch we cut out? They cut out. Not sure we finished this one. I'd probably cut this one out here. Not easy to do by yourself. Do a little quick pruning. I like to see or get the tree back to where all the branches at this point are about the same size, okay? So those are the cripps pink on bud 9. Just again, getting rid of this big wood. They already did some of it, or we did some of it. I might even cut a little more of this out here. And again, might tip these back a little bit. Just, I hate to do upright stuff, but just, there we go. Yeah. Not much else we can do, I don't think. All right, there's those. You can see again how some of this big wood, and this is just, yeah, they already took a bunch of big branches off of here, see? You know, you'd either want to tie these down. This tree's got some vigor to it. It's a bigger bud 9. All right, enough of that. Then we took a look at these MAIA 1s on bud 9, also known as evercrisp. Same story. These are growing a little better than those cripps pink. However, we decided this year again to get them. We had some big branches in here that we cut out. So it was basically just, look at this here, getting rid of some of these big branches, getting it down to where we're going to grow the tree again another year. Didn't touch the tops. Maybe did a little click pruning. I would have done a little click pruning. Let me see. Oh yeah, here we did. On some weaker 1-year-old wood. Did some tipping there. But again, get rid of the big branches. Grow these being bud 9 before we start cropping them up. I like the looks of this tree. I don't like this blind wood here, but now this is 2-year-old wood. We talked about notching that some to get some branch breaks in there, but more importantly, these big branches had to get out of here. So we got those out. We'll let this tree grow another year, and hopefully it'll next year it'll present itself differently and look a lot better. Kind of see going down the row there. This side was not pruned yet. This is the kind of big branch that I think needs to come out. Needs some artificial intelligence to follow me. And this top needs some work. It's a mess. You're not going to see this because of the sun. The top going back to a single leader there. What a nice day it is. Watch my fingers with my electronic pruners. That's much better. Well, that's the way I'd see it, although I'd come in here and do a little click pruning perhaps to get rid of any fruit buds on the end of this 1-year-old wood. And I don't like click pruning stuff that's more vertical, but there we go. That tree can grow again this year. That's MAIA 1. Able to find them. We had a question about bud 10, Butagofsky 10 rootstock in this 2010 NC140 rootstock planting here at the UMass Orchard. I knew we had some bud 10. We found them, and somebody wanted to take a look at them, so here you go. Here's what they look like. There's 2 trees in this replicated trial. We pruned them up a little bit. Pretty good growth, good sized trees. To me, it might be a little over pruned, but maybe not. The bottom line is just wanted to take a look at this bud 10, and you can go to the NC140 website, nc140.org, go to our state report for Massachusetts and see how these have done, but more vigor than bud 9 for sure in this planting. I'm not going to show you the bud 9s, but the bud 9s are rather weak in here. These 10s look good. We also talked about whether these are flower buds or not. This had a heavy crop in here last year. And I'm thinking that I would prune on the lighter side, dormant prune, and come back here and do some touch-up pruning at pink bud when I see what I've got for a crop load. But I can't. What I was saying, I think in terms of pruning these, I'd come through here and do a quick dormant prune, take out the big branches, then come back here at pink bud and see what my bud load looks like. And we had a pretty heavy crop in here last year. I'm concerned that these are not all flower buds, that some of these are dormant, or these what I call blanks. The only way I'll know that for sure is to wait till pink bud. I could cut buds and take them into the lab and look at them, but I'm still not too terribly comfortable doing that. So, okay. I think there was one more thing, some mature fuji on tall spindle we're going to go look at. Our last look here was at these mature tall spindle fuji. These are morning mist on M9 rootstock. These are quote unquote my trees, quote my unquote trees, unquote my quote unquote trees. I've managed these since they're at least 10 years old, and I think they look pretty good. We did a quick pruning in here, highlighting the tall spindle pruning rules, removing 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the biggest branches in the tree. You can see where we made some cuts there perhaps. Didn't do the other side. Did a little bit of weak wood removal, did some simplifying of the remaining branches, and basically shortened the tops the best we could at about the height we wanted them. This tree on the end here is kind of a vigorous son of a gun, I think because it's on the end, but as you move down the row, they look a little better. Let me see if I can grab my pruners here and we'll do a tree that still needs pruning. At least we'll try and see if I can get my ad together. Won't go, there we go, maybe. Pruners don't like me unless I use them continuously. There we go. Come on. Okay, you can see here's a big branch we removed. Now this tree was not finished. We just did a few, but you know, here again, here's a couple more big branches we took out of the tree. Really simple. But you look at a tree like this, here's the biggest branch left in the tree. This goes. We did an experiment here last year, so I'm not too worried about those tags. Hopefully they don't need them anymore. That goes. You know, for this side of the tree, those are probably the biggest branches in the tree. I'd look at the other side, and I'm sure there's 1 or 2 branches over there that need to come out. But really, the pruning is quite simple on these tall spindle. Now, these are a little busy overall, but again, I just quickly look at some of my bigger branches. There's maybe 3 I'd get out of here. I don't know if that's in focus when I go in close or not. And here's another. Here's this tree. Cut that one out. Cut this back to a little little shoot here. Yeah. There we go. See that? Cut that out. Yeah, this doesn't work too good with a one-man show, but it is what it is. Executive summary of this pruning demo we had this afternoon. Thank you for those who came. I think we learned something. We had some new varieties, the ambrosia, MAIA ones. Oh yeah, we looked at some MAIA, some mature MAIA ones. But I'm not going to go there right now. Oh, heck, let's do it. Yeah, here they are. This is MAIA1 or evercrisp on Geneva 41 rootstock. These have actually done very well. Can't remember how old they are. They're 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old. Again, trained to tall spindle, planted 3 feet apart. We pruned them up pretty good. I don't know. I don't prune as much as some people. But again, we're looking at getting the big wood out of there. Trying to push these back in a little bit. evercrisp really wants to terminal bud, fruit up, and droop. Again, these have kind of been pruned, so it's kind of hard to see. One thing we did talk about some is perhaps doing a little more click pruning in here to push these trees back in. They do want to, you know, present some blind wood. And if this had been click pruned earlier, it might have pushed it back in. You know, I'd like my bud structure to look kind of like this on evercrisp. That's pretty nice. If I could get it to look like that across the board, I'd be pretty happy. Here's another example, you know, way out here drooping. Probably need to cut this back. They need some fine tuning, evercrisp. Definitely a fine tuning. Look at this droop here. You know, and that's going to be smaller, less green wood. I want to get rid of that. You can see, cut some of that out. Now I've got a nice, I told people, low battery. You know, I like my branches to be kind of horizontal when I get done. I like the whole tree to look rather horizontal in its branching. Not drooping, not upright, kind of one rule of pruning. So anyways, there's a group of, I think, 30 evercrisp here that are pruned, half pruned. The tops there aren't done. We did a few tops, which I like. Came out pretty good, I thought. So I'm pretty happy. Now I'm done, I promise. Bye.